Climate justice! When do we want it? Now! When do we want it? Climate justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Climate justice! When do we want it? Now! When the air is clean, it's not with that. What do we do? Stand up like that! What do we do? It's not with that. What do we do? Stand up like that! When the ground is deep, when it goes with that. What do we do? Stand up like that! What do we do? Stand up like that!
Come all the way from Larrakia country to bring the solidarity to you guys of the union movement. I see lots of union people in the crowd. I'm union proud. As said, I'm a Torres Strait Islander. And one thing I'll never forget was several years ago, I think it was 2015, and Scott Morrison, Peter Dutton and Tony Abbott, there was a microphone on. They didn't know it was still on. And those bastards were laughing at the fact that the seas are rising and we're starting to lose our homes in the Torres Strait and in the Pacific. Shame on them. They were laughing at it as far back as 2015, and long before that. These people have known what we're facing in this world, and that my home where my ancestors are buried, we know our ancestors' name from way before colonisation. And my people in the islands, we're picking up the bones of our ancestors from the beaches. Shame on these people. So we've got to fight. Workers, young people, all of us, we cannot take no for an answer from these decision makers. We've got to kick them out. And I say, Scott Morrison, your time is up. We were talking about the Pilliga. I was there with the Gomeroi people a couple of weeks ago, and I'm so proud to hear that they have resoundingly said no to Santos. They say Gamel means no. And you know what? In the Northern Territory, Santos are doing the same thing. They're ignoring First Nations. They want to frack our country, and they want to take away our futures. So say this with me. Shame, Santos, shame. Shame, Santos, shame. Shame, Santos, shame. Shame, Santos, shame.
Shame, Santos, shame!
I'll tell you what, Scott Morrison, he doesn't like workers, he doesn't like unions. I've been a unionist for more than 20 years now, and every step of the way Liberal governments have tried to take away our rights. You know why? Because we've got power in numbers. Scott Morrison, he hates youth as well. He hates the next generation. He's a greedy bastard. He hates First Nations people. They've said no. They've said no to our calls in the Uluru Statement for a voice. They've had the opportunity to do something with it for 5 years, and they've done nothing. But you know what? Just like you guys, just like the next generation, First Nations people will not take no for an answer. And this is the message that I want to leave with you. Do not take no for an answer. Go out there, talk to people, the unconverted. Challenge yourself and tell them that when this bloke is trying to get his job back in a couple of months, very soon, that we're going to say no and your time is up. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm here because we're fighting for climate justice. The government is completely failing not only this generation but future generations. We're here in solidarity, the unions, with these young people that aren't going to take no for an answer, and that's what we know as unionists. When we know that justice needs to be served, when we know that something is wrong, we fight, we don't take no for an answer, and that's why it's just a proud moment to be here with the youth of Australia. Santos is a great example. The Gomeroi people, the First Nations, in rural New South Wales, they've said no to Santos, that are trying to force themselves onto their country to destroy country with their 850 more wells. And so our union stands strong with the Gomeroi people. The Gomeroi people have said no to Santos, and they should be ashamed of themselves because they're trying to extinguish the rights of those people to say no. And so the union movement stands with them. This is just as much about that fight as it is about climate justice in general. And this is like a fight for the Torres Strait. I'm a Torres Strait Islander, the Torres Strait 8, Our Island's Our Home campaign. We've taken a complaint to the United Nations that the government's inaction is losing our islands are sinking beneath the seas as they rise. I say, Scott Morrison, sack yourself. You're no good. You don't give a shit about the people, the Australian people. You don't give a shit about First Nations. It's time you go.